You're going to be writing a book. One of the first things you should be considering is what point of view your story is going to be told in. I'm Mark J. Gregson, and my debut novel, Sky's End, is getting published in spring of 2024, and I'm also a teacher. I'm running a whole series of videos on writing a novel, so make sure to follow me for more and check out the other parts. This is the second part. So there are 3 different types of points of view that you can write in. Let me show you. You could write your story in first person. First person pronouns examples I, me, we, us, our, and my. An example is I eat chips. These are 2 notable books that are written in first person. There are lots of benefits for writing in first person. Namely, you're going to have a really intimate connection with your character. We're going to be inside your character's head, and we're going to be experiencing everything that they experience. One of the difficulties, though, in first person is you're less likely to be able to jump into the heads of other characters in your story. And so you're going to have to do a really good job of making sure that we can read other characters' faces, make sure that their expressions are clear, so in that way we kind of know what they're thinking. Some people, they like to write first person and they do dual perspectives, so each chapter flips. So one chapter might be Todd, and then chapter 2 might be Sally, and then it jumps back and forth, each broken up by chapters. It's generally not very feasible to jump into different characters' heads mid-chapter unless there's some sort of plot device or something that allows that to happen. So just make sure you separate those by chapter. The second point of view you can choose is second person. Some pronouns are like you, yours, yourself, your. An example is, you walk downstairs. Some examples of second person stories are like choose your own adventure story. They're actually, second person is not used very often. Some of the Goosebumps series actually were written in second person so that you could choose your adventure. Flip to page 87 if your character decided to go into the swamp. An advantage of using second person is that you are giving the reader real agency in the story. They get to pick what's going to happen next. The disadvantage, though, is that it's just not a very popular way of writing books. And so unless you feel really strongly passionate about what you're writing, probably avoid it. The final one is third person. Pronouns are like he, she, they, it, their, themselves. And an example is, they attacked him. Here are some examples of some books written in third person. One of the best advantages to writing in third person is it does give you the leniency and the ability to jump between characters' heads. If you're using an omniscient point of view, that means your narrator can jump into any character's head at any point in time. Or you could do a limited one where you're only limited to one character's perspective. But it does allow you to pull back and give more of a bird's eye view of what's happening to your character and the surrounding events. Writing in third person can also be beneficial if you're going to be writing like a big giant war. It's easier to be moving between the scenes and the heads of different characters in that scene. One of the disadvantages, at least relative to first person, is that you're not quite going to have the same intimate connection that you had with first person. That being said, you can still have a really close relationship with the characters. It might be a good idea to practice writing out your scenes in first and third person, or maybe even second person if you're doing a choose your own adventure.